In front of Master Sommelier Carlos Santos and I are 10 bottles of Australian Shiraz, and we're about to taste test whether money equals quality.
But I decided to add a little bit of complexity to this blend. All the wines will be Australian. A part of this one here that I brought in is a Cornas. It is 100% Syrah from the northern Rhone, southernmost appellation. One of the smallest appellations in the region as well, only 110 hectares.
Along with the French, which we will beat, there is a great Australian different region lineup of wine to taste from. All Shiraz. We've got Heathcote, Pyrenees in Victoria, McLaren, Vale and Barossa. And there is somewhere in this lineup an abhorrent $5 South Australian blend of wine. And if this Master Sommelier can't pick that, I'll take his pin away from him.
So let's see if one bottle of French Syrah will be 10 Australian Shirazes.
Including this 2014 Grand Burge Meshach worth nearly $200. Come on, the Aussies. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of this video, we are giving away the bottle that was valued at $320, the Club Diamondz Barossa Single Vineyard Shiraz. If you want to win it, all it's going to take is one comment, maybe even one word. Don't go anywhere. All right, Carlos and I are stretching. We are cracking knuckles, which is actually my least favorite thing in the entire world because we are now sitting face to face with one another. We have our glasses marked 1 through to 10. Some of these bottles range from $5 up to $320. Don't forget, you can win a bottle of that $320 by staying to the end of the video. Carlos, we are judging this blind. Only our producer Amelia knows which glass is which.
Yeah.
And we are simply basing this off quality. So I guess my hope for this episode is for a Master Sommelier like yourself to say the best bottle in your opinion on your palate is the tastiest, and it ends up being like the $30 or $40 bottle. That'd be a great result.
It's a nice lineup. I mean, a few famous brands. Kilikanoon, I've worked with it before. Taltarni, I've worked with it before. The Grand Burge, I've seen those wines before. And all the other ones are fairly new to me. I see, South Australia on the label. That means that the wine is produced from anywhere around the region.
Shit, bottle of wine.
Yeah, well,
if we can't pick that, I'll be deeply upset at both of us. And I'm a wine rookie.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Well, the Heathcote, the next one, the Heathcote is the Benarca, so I think that's only $10 as well, so that's not far off from it. But then progressively we increase, right? So $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $60. Yeah, exactly.
I'm hoping my palate finds the Grand Burge Meshach, the 2014, nearly 10 years of vintage on it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's going to be the one that my palate lights on fire for. It's like a firework.
Yeah, so if we go, I think if we think about, quality of these wines and going through, I would say what you expect out of these wines for $10 versus a $300 bottle of wine is that the $5 bottle of wine will not obviously have a huge amount of oak because that's an extremely expensive thing to have, while the $300 probably will have a lot more influence of oak. And especially seeing the website where this wine Club Diamondz, I'm probably expecting a huge amount of new oak and that being really expressive on the wine, which is spices, clove and nutmeg and really kind of exuberant and lively wine. Whether it's good or not, that's what we're going to see.
Hey guys, Angus here. Just before we start wine tasting, I realized that Carlos and I should be the only ones who are in the dark about this Shiraz tasting. You guys shouldn't be. So when we say a number, obviously we don't know what the wine is, but you should. Therefore, you can take on some tasting notes, maybe even buy the bottle if you like what Carlos in particular has to say about it. So just below in the show notes, you can see all of the bottles numbered, and then you'll be in on the joke, and Carlos and I will be the only ones in the dark. So with that information and the information below, enjoy this episode. But let's go, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Glass number 1.
All right.
Saud.
Saud. Cheers.
Cheers.
Number 1, it smells pretty
shit.
Smells pretty simple. I mean, it's a little bit of black fruits, blackberry, but nothing like really jumping out of the glass. No, really a lot of oak influence.
On the nose, it's not really giving off a lot, but actually on the palate, it's quite nice. So I take back my initial thoughts. You know what I mean? That's actually quite smooth. Nothing really grippy about it. Seems quite balanced. Tannins don't stick out. Not high acid. There's a little bit of oak influence on that as well, in my opinion. So I'm going to say that's not a bad drop.
Yeah, palate is good. Yeah, palate, I agree. It's it really reveals as a Shiraz with a little bit of age as well.
Yeah,
you can see
you think so?
From the color. You can see that from the color, and you can see that on the taste, a little bit more dried fruit, more dried plum, dried fig. So quite nice. Yeah, I agree. On the nose, wasn't revealing much, but straight on the palate, really good.
We should also point out, yeah, you're right. We have some vintages in here. I'm looking at 2014, 2016, 2018. So some of these bought, or 2015.
19.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
We've got a few.
14.
Obviously, there'll be some new bottles in there as well for the cheaper options. But once again, we don't know what they are. So we're in a blind tasting.
Yeah.
Glass number 2.
Glass number 2.
Ooh,
nose,
very different on the nose.
Nose smells a little bit more expressive, a little bit more fresher fruit somehow. Which, if we think about the regions, what are the cooler regions, what are the warmer regions? I mean, it is Shiraz, so they all have to grow at least on a moderate to warm climate. But considering the regions of McLaren, Vale, Barossa Valley, Heathcote, Pyrenees, and Clare Valley, so, McLaren Valley is right on the coast, so it's a lot more a maritime climate, if you like, or a lot more influenced by the ocean, so a lot more cool sea breezes. But then again, depends where you are planting the vines. And of course, McLaren Valley grows from kind of 0 meters to like 400 meters. So there's, kind of a huge range where you can plant vines. And this is obviously just south of the city of Adelaide. Cool. So number 3.
Carlos.
Yeah. Yeah, it smells big.
This is it, mate.
Yeah, number 3 smells pretty big. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I agree. Yeah,
Gotcha.
you're jumping.
I wanted to get in. Well,
Yeah.
how can I? The thing is, I don't want to jump in, but I don't want to follow a Master Sommelier. I
No, of
smelled
course,
this before
of
you,
course. Yeah.
and I went, "This is it."
Yeah, this is
one of our
smells-
top premium wines
I
for
think
sure.
so. Yeah, it smells fine. It smells elegant. It does have influence of oak. You smell that beautiful
Yeah.
clove, nutmeg,
smells
baking
wonderful, mate.
spice, like the secondary aroma. So influenced obviously by the winemaker.
A little bit of age as well on the rim
A
of the
little
glass.
bit of age. Yeah, there is a deep red color, but this deep red color was once a lot more almost purple. But now, yeah, it's beautiful.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing that's going through my head, right? I know that this is one of our premiums. So I would say that this is either the Burge Meshach or the Club Diamondz limited release, the most expensive one on the list. But I've never tried your Syrah. So I've never tried that. So I don't know what to expect from that variety. So it's going to be interesting for me to see if I can pick out the French influence. But on the nose, vastly different to the first two.
Definitely.
Oak influence, obviously. French oak.
Yeah, and on a palate is a lot bigger, a lot more robust. It's a lot of tannin, a lot of intensity, a lot of dark chocolate, like coffee, grounded coffee is a lot more complex than any of the other two.
Dare I say delicious?
There's definitely a lot more intensity and a lot more money spent.
For me, with this is just about quality, but yeah, it would be nice to pick the glass, the bottle
exactly,
for sure.
yeah.
But
Sure,
when
yeah.
it comes to these two,
Yeah.
at least,
But
it stands out. But
Imagine that our number 3 is the Pyrenees, which we think is really, really good.
and
so,
then we try Burge, and it's like, whoa,
yeah,
pull back.
exactly. Or maybe not. So we'll see.
So
right?
what you're saying is,
Yeah.
in a horse race, I've cantered off. And I've left you, and you're still there, just keeping the horse in
Yeah.
check, as trained.
Like
and
a
I'm
third.
shooting off.
You the rabbit, you go like this, and I'm the turtle.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
that's
end
right.
at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm an idiot. On to the fourth. Okay, we're back to pretty bland. No, this isn't it.
No, yeah, number 4, you see, number 4 is a lot fresher, is a lot more green. Yeah, I would say that this is one of the four first wines.
Yeah, I agree.
I think number 1 was the least impressive. Number 2, they had a little bit more on the palate. Number 4 is on that range. But I may be surprised. Anyway, so
Okay.
no, not really much to add. I don't, as you say, like not a huge impact of oak, not a huge impact of age.
Mm-hmm.
So a good way of doing this as well, it's you can smell all the glasses, and I think I will do that. So I will smell. Sorry, I will keep these ones. I will smell all the glasses until the end. On my tasting, typically we do that to see if anything jumps out, whether it's on the nose or on the palate. But it's a good way to have a clear understanding of.
Well, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So smell all the glasses.
Glass number 5.
Number 5,
Is
peppery, spicy, like a typical Shiraz. But there's
Yeah.
some kind of a green
Yeah.
something. Number 6 could be our Cornas. Could be
Our what?
because Cornas, the
Oh.
Syrah from the Rhone Valley.
Interesting.
Because it's, to me,
A bit of French funk.
it smells stuff.
A bit of French funk.
Smells tapenade, smells like more black olive.
You're right.
It could be, but
I
let's
think
see.
you're right.
So that's number
I think
6.
you're right.
Number 7. cassis, a lot of blackberry, blueberry. Like there's this slight, I don't know, like medicinal, like gum something.
We're on 8 now. Glass number 8 on the nose.
Yeah, number 8.
Pretty straightforward, one-dimensional Shiraz.
Yeah, number 8 is probably the simplest of all of them.
Number 9 seems pretty simple itself.
Number 9.
Oh no, I'm concerned that I haven't found another.
Last one. Here
Found it. We found it. Yeah, this is. Thank God. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there's another big one. Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Phew.
cool. I think
Glass number 10, for those who didn't get off the reactions, does definitely smell like the other big expensive Barossa.
yeah, I agree. Number
Nice.
10 and number 3. I think we may have the biggest oak influenced wines here. I think number 3 is probably bigger in that sweet, almost I would say not only just French oak but American oak as well, which adds more sweeter notes to the wine, like coconut or vanilla, versus baking spices, clove, nutmeg to the French. So I would say I think number 10 is finer. It's a little bit more elegant.
We'll go back to now tasting because we've smelled all the glasses. We think we've identified our 2 big boys or girls. And let's go for glass number 5. But as we try this one on the palate, can you tell me or the difference between Heathcote and Victoria versus the Pyrenees? What's the regional difference?
So Pyrenees is southwestern part of Victoria, as I said a little bit earlier, and a little bit more continental, quite warm. But then again, Pyrenees is a mountain range, like the name says it all, right? So the mountain range that separates France and Spain. So very, very much resembling, but obviously in Victoria. So higher altitude, and that can bring a sense of freshness to these wines. And then versus Heathcote, which is a very, very classic wine region for Shiraz. Great producers like what is it? Jasper Hill, one of the top ones there. Which has the Mount Camel bringing cool influence, a lot of wind, and kind of again refreshing those wines, but otherwise quite warm. And then is the soils. So the Heathcote has this clay loams, red clay loams, and sandy soil that is extremely old. One of the oldest soils in the world, which they call the Cambrian soils. So that brings a lot of minerality as well to these wines. Typically a little bit fresher than what we would see in South Australia. A part of Clare Valley, which again much higher altitude, but if we are in Barossa, McLaren, Vale, those tend to be much bigger.
Cool. I tried number 5.
Yeah.
It's okay. I would say it's a mid.
I like the freshness of this wine, and if I'm thinking of freshness, acidity, and slightly fresher fruit, I probably think which could be the slightly cooler spot out of all this region. And I would probably be more thinking about Kilikanoon for this one,
Oh, cool. Right.
So
Make a
$15
note for that.
$15.
You think
number
that's
5.
Kilikanoon, number 5?
Could be, because Clare Valley, very high much higher altitude. Not as high as Pyrenees, which actually I think it goes like up to 700 meters or something like this. Clare Valley would probably be on a mid slope, something like this somewhere. So yeah, I would probably go for Clare Valley on number 5. But that's not the idea, of course, of this tasting. But if I were to place it somewhere, I would go there.
Carlos, number 6, you identified on the nose as having a bit of tapenade, smelling a little bit different. It looks different in the glass. It's kind of doesn't have that bright red ruby core. There is this sort of like murkiness to it.
Yeah.
You've sort of identified on the nose, obviously not knowing, none of us do except for our producer, what it is in the glass. It does smell different, and I've had a taste. It's delicious, man.
Yeah.
It's 100% the Syrah. It's wonderful. That's a beautiful choice.
Tapenade.
$70 as well for this?
Yeah, $70.
Yeah.
More tapenade, more the black olive, grounded black pepper, but very fine. You see, very elegant, silky tannins. It doesn't have to be super lustrous, with masked with oak and stuff like this. Super elegant, super fine, and I think we may have here the Cornas.
Yeah, definitely. Delicious, mate. Can obviously a really important part of this is Syrah and Shiraz. We have sort of explored this in previous episodes with down in Tasmania with Devil's Corner. They've made a Syrah, but loosely based around the fact it's cold climate Shiraz. Can you go into a bit more detail about the difference? Because this is very obviously different to the Shiraz surrounding it. What is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's the same grape variety, Syrah, Shiraz. It's actually rooted from an African town that is actually called Syrah.
Cool.
But obviously, so mostly planted in the Rhone Valley, northern, southern Rhone, mostly on the Rhone Valley, on the northern Rhone, sorry. So where we call it Syrah. And that's typically a slightly cooler climate, slightly fresher version of the grape variety, a little bit more elegant, a little bit more silky, a little bit more, black and blue fruit, yes, but not kind of overly ripe. So it's a very fine, silky style. And then when you call it Shiraz, it's typically the Australian, the South Australian, which is big, bold, like warm in alcohol, really generous, really ripe fruit. And that's the style that you expect when you call it Shiraz. And of course, there are producers in Tasmania, in Beechworth, and around the country that like to call it Syrah because they want to, bring that that style from the Rhone Valley that's a little bit more subtle than what we see most typically in Australia's Shiraz.
It's so different compared to its others.
Yeah.
And I've
I
already
hope we're right. I hope we're right.
I can. Carlos, bet the house. I'm telling you, you are 100% correct. That is because I've tried the number 7 next to it, and it is a nope from me.
With some quality into it.
Okay. On to 8 on the palate. Didn't really blow us away with the nose. I've just had a taste. For me, that's really thin as well.
Yeah, it's even the color. Like there's no depth. It's like it almost looks like a Grenache or a Pinot Noir in color. There's no depth in color, which you would expect more for Shiraz.
Can I tell you something, Carlos? I want to say it before you because you're the Master Somm. I think this is our $5.
Yeah. Bloody hell. Yeah. I think it's I think you are right.
You think I'm right?
I would say that as well. I think
if it's not, it's down the end too.
Yeah, definitely.
Our $5 or $10 bottles.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I don't see Kilikanoon bottling this. Starling is not something I'm super familiar with. But it's I think it's towards the first 2 on the lineup, and then number 9.
This is an interesting glass. Really, what do you describe those tannins? It's the most tannic of all of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, super tannic.
Ooh. Yeah.
Holy moly!
I thought the same.
Yeah, it needs more age, so probably one of the youngest.
Okay.
But
well, that's interesting. It's not even age. It's just like it just feels like the tannins. It's just not balanced,
Super tannic, and super unbalanced. I think that's exactly right. Palate is, I'm not sure if it's fresh. Also because we already tasted so many Shiraz, so the palate gets a little bit tired.
But yeah, it's kind of gone into my bottom mix. I've got 5 in my bottom, 3 in my mid, and at the moment, 1 definitely in my top tier wines. And then I'm about to go onto the palette for the first time, number 10, which we did identify as probably one of our big Barossas, the Grand Burge of the Club Diamondz. Once again, don't go anywhere. We are giving away a bottle of $320. That's what it was valued at online. That's when we bought it. Bottle of wine. Make sure you stick around. 1 word could win you this bottle. We'll post it anywhere in the world. Good luck. Yeah, definitely one of our best. There's no doubt about that. This is one of the more delicious wines, easily identifiable out of the group. It goes straight to the top with number 3. So now we can identify our top wines.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have identified my favorite 3 wines, with the number 1 being number 10. I think number 10 was the Grand Burge. I don't care if it is the Grand Burge or not. I just think it's a big Barossa Shiraz. I think it's beautiful. I think it's well oaked. I think it's well balanced. I'd be very surprised if that wasn't the top end of class. My second favorite is what I think to be the Club Diamondz, which is number 3. I think that's the next best use of oak, balance, finesse, refined tannin. And I actually really love what I think, or we think to be the Syrah, number 6. That is my top 3. My least favorite is the number 8, or equal or less favorite is number 2. 8 and 2 are my least. Carlos.
I mean, between number 6 and number 10, I think those are my 2 favorite. I mean, for different reasons. Number 6 being the Cornas, number 10 being, well, two of the big wines. So either the Grand Burge or the Club Diamondz. I think those are this is where the high value lies on. And then number 3 is either again the Grand Burge or the Club Diamondz. Between 10 and 3, I think that's where it lies, the two most expensive wines. Number 9, I like to add number 9. I quite enjoyed it out of all. I would say that this could be potentially the Pyrenees Taltarni. I like the freshness on this wine. And I've been in the winery, beautiful vineyards, beautiful room overlooking all the region. So yeah, I think number 10. Okay, I'll name it. Number 10 for me is the Grand Burge. Number 3 would be the Club Diamondz. Number 9 would be the Taltarni, and number 6 would be the Cornas. Or at least this is how
we've got exactly the same, except I didn't put the number Taltarni.
I think that this would be, if this is correct, I would be really, really happy. If it's incorrect, if it's incorrect, it's hard.
Both of our favorite, number 10, is the Club Diamondz.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow.
3 is the Grand Burge.
We got that right, at least.
Yeah. And then the Cornas is number 6.
Yeah, we got that right.
Yeah. What did you say was your other one? Number 9.
Number 9 is
you thought was
Taltarni.
No, it's the Haselgrove Il Padrone Shiraz.
Great. Okay, he's on the top.
It's on the top. Yeah, that's the
so right next to okay,
right next to Grand Burge.
So well, that's really good. I'm happy with that.
Hello guys, Angus here. Just wrapped up the editing of this podcast and recognized that we didn't actually tell you how to win the bottle of Club Diamondz, which is valued at $320, and now we know was seen to be the best bottle of the day. If you want to win it, all you have to do is leave a comment below on our YouTube right here. Just do one word or an emoji describing this episode and how you enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it. We're going to pick one at random, ship this anywhere in the world. It's wrapped in tissue paper at the moment. So if you want to win it, one comment, one word could do that just for you. And thank you so much for watching. If you would, or if you're not already, can you please subscribe? Helps out the channel a bunch. Carlos and I have got some massive plans for this channel, but only with your support. And it's free. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.